We have a budget, and it's moving at the legislature. On Wednesday, the House overwhelmingly passed the funding measure for next year. It's about a 5% increase in spending, 4.6 directly, with a lot of money in it for pandemic relief and one-time costs. And Eric, as our former senator here, let me ask you this. We saw this one-time spending from the last adjusted budget, and lawmakers, unless I'm missing something, seems to have wedded themselves to this as a way to weather the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Do you like this approach? Is this going to stick, or is this just the appropriate way to handle the moment?
You know, I'm a big Keynesian. I think a lot of folks up there, we have to have, at times like this, with the economy struggling, we have to have the public sector sort of prime the pump if we're ever going to get anywhere near to full employment in terms of, getting people back to work and investing in core services for people, right? So I think it's the right thing to do. I know some of the fiscal conservatives are saying, oh, we got to tighten our belts. I think that's exactly the wrong thing to do. I think that's why at the federal level there's been a big investment, and that's, by the way, that's part of this package. The federal money is a big part of this package.
It's about 2 to 3 billion we're anticipating coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the right thing to do. Obviously we're going to have to figure this out for the long term in terms of how fiscally sound we need to be. But I think in the short term, we absolutely need the state and the feds to really pump some money into this economy, get people back to work, build things, make sure we have the core services covered. And I think that's the right approach. I hope that that's what makes it through the Senate side. On the finance side, I think it is. I think there's a lot of agreement that we can't start cutting back now in the middle of a pretty major economic downturn caused by the pandemic. I think it's the right way to go.
Mm-hmm. Patty Lundstrom had that same thought as well. This is not the time to be cutting government stuff. Merritt, interestingly, a key part of this was the Republican idea from the winter special session, you might recall, that give a break to low-wage frontline workers. That's part of the bill, certainly. What can House Republicans do with this win? Is there something in it for Republicans as well?
I think there absolutely is. I mean, certainly as kind of a fiscal hawk myself, I see this budget and I feel seen. I think that was my millennial imitation there. I was kind of surprised it didn't get more support among Republicans, because I felt like the one-time spending, the pandemic stimulus was quite moderate. I felt like the state recognizes, okay, we have a big influx of federal cash coming in, and we recognize that, so we don't have to do as much with our own funds. I thought the pay raises were moderate, conservative. I felt this was a pretty, again, restrained budget, doing what needs to be done with the situation we have, which is unprecedented. So I was quite surprised, and I was so surprised at how the leadership of the House caucus was mixed, with Minority Leader Townsend voting for the budget and Whip and Caucus Chair Montoya and Dow voting against it. I found that very surprising. But I think there are some certain reasons. I know there's frustration with other bills that are held up that may have something to do with it. But no, I felt like it was a big win. I felt like Republicans got a lot. It's a fiscally, I found it to be quite a responsible budget, and I feel like Republicans should take this as a win and say we worked across the aisle. We have a budget that meets our needs, but maintains the cash reserve we need for the next crisis, and we don't know when this pandemic will end.
Meredith, are you comfortable that the plan would use about $1 billion of the state's $2.7 billion cash reserves for one-time spending? That's pretty big. That's a pretty big chunk. You okay with that?
No, but given the numbers that the Republicans have, given the mindset of both the Speaker of the House, the President pro tem of the Senate, and the Governor, I think it's the best we could ask for. Okay. So I don't love it, but I don't expect to love the budget. I'm satisfied with the budget.
That makes sense. Hey, Crystal, talking about schools. Oh, go ahead, Eric. My fault.
Just remember, about 700 million of that is going to small business aid. By the way, like there's a huge chunk of it that's going directly to helping small. So, like, just to be clear.
There's a lot of money going in a lot of different directions, Senator. You're exactly right, and we're talking about $7.4 billion. By the way, I forgot to mention that number. Crystal, Rebecca Dow was just mentioned. She had an interesting point that her criticism was sort of an untargeted approach to boosting spending for schools, saying more money should be directed to districts that are doing in-person learning. Does she have a point?
I don't think that, you think about targets, right? Or am I aiming at the red target or the blue target? And I think, in-person schools versus non-person schools, I think the blanket statement of education just needs funding, period, is where it's most important. And I don't know, she might have like a personal tick against some of the unions that might be out there, or she's not in support of, I don't know what her intentions might be. But I think that it also goes back to just funding education from a K through 12 perspective, just goes back to the priorities of the governor. It's what she promised, it's what she ran on, improving schools. And even through a pandemic, that dedication is definitely there. And if I was to kind of comment, holistically at the budget and how does this look, I am, in full disclosure, I am a board member of the New Mexico Foundation for Open Government. Some people call them the IPRA people. And I found that I'm glad that there's some sense of transparency on how this budget has been formed so far. I am very curious about how capital outlay will be laid out, because if there's some type of negotiation of why this budget has been so easy compared to the past 10 years of compiling the budget, especially in a pandemic, something tells me that capital outlay is going to be ugly. So I'm hoping that there's a big sense of transparency, which I know the New Mexico Foundation for Open Government is really, along with Think New Mexico and Common Cause, they're advocating for just full transparency from the beginning for both the budget and the capital outlay process.
Absolutely. Good place to finish. We're out of time. Hey, thanks to our panelists. I'm back in a moment.